Welcome to Subramani. Two things which I want to talk about today. One is what Contrarian Edge calls the myopic mental model. The myopic mental model is the one which forces us to look at a very small database or group of friends, etc., that we want to see. For example, if you are a gymmer, you think everybody goes to the gym. If you are a runner, you think everybody runs. If you are a fitness freak, you think so many people are fitness freaks, so many people are consuming protein. You're not a smoker, you don't see any smoker around you, right? So you don't drink, so you think nobody drinks, right? So this is what Contrarian Edge calls the myopic mental model, and we all go through this, right? So if you have been born and brought up in, say, a very investment oriented community, like say I've been brought up in Ghatkopar in Bombay, where almost everybody invests in equity, right? I'm not saying everybody, I mean a lot of people, a lot of friends, classmates, a lot of them invest, because then it's a closed circle. You think, oh, everybody is doing equity. Then you get hard data which shows very few people in India actually do equity, right? Very many people smoke. So to think that, oh no, none of my friends smoke, so smoking is no longer fashionable, not true. Very many people smoke. You see the sales of ITC, you realize that very many people do smoke. You realize that a lot of smoking opportunities have gone away. Hotels don't allow you to smoke, offices don't allow you to smoke. Anyway, many people don't smoke at home. But you think cigarette consumption has gone down or tobacco consumption has gone down? The answer is no. A lot of people are smoking, a lot of younger people are smoking. In fact, a lot of young girls are smoking. So what happens is, to break some of the mental models is also important, but to understand that we will work with such mental models is also important. So we will get biased and we will be myopic in our own mental model. So you have to depend more on data rather than just on mental models, because mental models can help you and it can hurt you. For example, I have a mental model. I've lost some money early on in my life in companies based out of Hyderabad. That makes me very shy of investing in companies in Hyderabad. So straight mental model is, I will not look at these companies at all. So if you if you're suffering from some mental models, it is necessary that you sit with some friends and discuss how your mental model works and how it is right or wrong. For example, my mental model is very clear that I cannot invest in companies making huge losses, right? So when SEBI gave permission to all the loss-making companies, saying, oh, loss-making companies can do an IPO, provided such and such a percentage is taken by the big institutional investors, I was very skeptical, and I am still very skeptical, because it is my mental model that I am a very old chartered accountant, and for me valuation starts with profits. So if the company doesn't make profits, I would be wary of investing. But having said that, it means I'm going to miss out a lot of good startups, and because I'm not going to see profits by the time they go public, right? Similarly, my mental model is HDFC Group companies are always good and it will make money. Yes, it was true when it was HDFC Bank which came out with a power issue. It may not be true for HDFC Mutual Fund and HDFC Life. Those kind of IRRs may not exist, right? It may not exist anymore. Also, this bias saying, oh, HDFC Group was very, very well run by Mr. Deepak Parekh. Will the PE change after his departure? Well, I think HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank have caught up. In fact, ICICI Bank has gone ahead. So some of these mental models need a recheck. Some of these mental models are right, but these mental models are the ones which work for me, right? So is it myopic? Yes, of course it is myopic. I cannot think that India has this problem or that problem. Then you also get biased towards, well, I like Modi, so I think the economy is doing well. I don't like Modi, so I think the economy is doing badly. Again, not stats driven, but myopic model driven. This is one thing, and another one, again, I'm picking up from Malcolm Gladwell, and of course the Contrarian Edge has also spoken about this, is the fight between David and Goliath. Whenever we always like to say, oh, Goliath was a giant, but David still won. But David did a very smart thing. David did not find, so let's look at it this way. Goliath was a giant, so let us describe him as 8'2" or whatever. And he was well armored. He had a big sword, and David refused a sword. He said, I will not fight with a sword. He was good at using what we call batchki or catapult. So I do not know how many of you have played with the batchkis. You keep a stone and there is a rubber band and the wood at the other end, and you pull back. It's a sling, right? So and you hit with stones. So people try to hit for fruits, mangoes, something lying on the tree, and you try to hit the stone right at the place where it is connected. The fruit is hanging. You try to hit on this and try to bring the fruit down. Now this guy was a shepherd and he was good at it, so he started hitting Goliath with his pebbles and arm and stones, and all those advantages of Goliath, that you had well armored, he had a big sword, and all those things turned out to be a disadvantage, because when somebody is hitting you with stones, you can't really tackle that, right? Because technology has changed. You are very well prepared for the previous technology of fighting with a sword. Now why am I saying this is because when you are evaluating a startup, which I do very often to say no, you see whether this person can be a David and can he fight Goliath on different terms, because if you are going to fight them on different terms, then you could win. So when I looked at both Swiggy and Zomato, they have changed the rules of the game. For example, I could walk out of my house and have a dish for say 70 rupees, but the same dish, if I order it on Zomato, it comes to my house at about 120 rupees, right? Or no, maybe a little more actually. What is available for 70 rupees is available for about 140 rupees. I just did a quick calculation, right? So the question for people my age is, will I want to go out of my house, walk about 300-400 meters and eat there for 70 rupees, or do I not mind picking up the phone and ordering and getting it home delivered for 140 rupees, whatever. I mean, there are extra margin, there are delivery charges, etc. So the question is, when I don't want to, I say, oh, I just walk out. So I will not, I'm not a Zomato customer. I'm making a very big mistake saying Zomato won't make money because I would never order. That's wrong, because there is definitely scope for somebody who is defining it as saying, I want food at my convenience. Okay, let me just explain it. Now the same item is available at 140 versus 70, but at 140 I have an advantage. I get up in the morning, I go for my bath, I order the food, and by the time I finish my bath, etc., the food is already on my table. I eat, and while I'm eating, I'm also dressing up, and I don't have to do anything else. I'm ready, I'm leaving, I'm happy to leave for office. Now that is very, very convenient, especially if you are a young woman and you're going to office and you don't have anybody who is willing to make breakfast for you. You don't have time to make breakfast. So what happens is, at least she doesn't have to get up, dress up and go have breakfast, come back and then again dress up to go to office. You're not dressed the same way. So if David can change the story that people want convenience of having the food delivered at home, and the hotel thinks, oh, ambience is good. Remember, ambience is more expensive. So here I am with a 4th floor kitchen, and not very great looking kitchen either, and saying, okay, I'm a kitchen and I have to just deliver food. I'm not a restaurant. So completely changing the game. I could compete with the best restaurants in the city, or at least in the suburbs, start delivering foods, work on higher margins, maybe share it with Zomato and make sure more orders are flown my way, right? So, well, the rules of the game has changed, right? So you find a big restaurant with lot of overheads also doing well. So to think that I order by Zomato, so everybody orders by Zomato is wrong. I don't order by Zomato, so nobody orders by Zomato is also wrong. This is the demand side. I'm not even talking about the margins, whether Zomato is a good share or not. But Zomato has been able to change the rules of the game. Swiggy has been able to change the rules of the game. Ola, Uber have been able to change the rules of the game, and completely unexpected, the help came from technology. Help came from Google Maps. right? So if tomorrow Google says you have to pay for using my maps, all these business models will be in question. You can argue that it is like saying, okay, electricity has to be paid, so people are paying for electricity. True, but people are not paying for Google Maps, or they're paying in a very different way. So when you see some of the rules being changed, you're wondering whether all these rules can be changed, or whether it will sustain. So looking at all this, so create your own mental models. Find when you're trapped. It is very useful to have friends who also work with models, so that you could discuss it with them and see what works for you and what works for them, and why you should do some things and why you should not do something. Thank you.